Today we're going to be doing a bullion knot, and I'm going to make this knot about 1 inch long. So when you do a bullion knot, you want to come up at the bottom of the knot, bring your needle back to where you want the knot to end, and keep this working thread in a loop. This is going to be the thread that you're going to wrap your needle with. It's very important that you use a bullion needle for these, because the bullion needle has a longer eye and the shaft of the needle is the same size. If you try to use a tapestry needle when you're making a bullion knot, it's very hard to get the wraps off of the needle. So we're going to bring this needle back up here, and at this point, you do not bring the needle to the front of the canvas. It is just going to be a spindle on your canvas. And now we're going to start our wraps. You want to make sure that your wraps do not overlap one another, and you don't want to make them so tight that you're not going to be able to get the knot off of the needle. So I'm being very gentle and trying to be very consistent in how I do my loops. All right. You can lay your needle down like this to test that you've got enough wraps for the length of your knot, and I do. I often will do 2 or 3 extra just in case. Now I'm going to hold my knots, hold my wraps on the needle here. And one thing that you cannot see as I'm doing this is that I did hold the needle at the bottom on the back of the canvas so that I didn't pull it through. But now I am going to pull it through. So I'm holding my wraps and I'm going to be pulling my needle through. Sometimes you have to massage your wraps, and I call this massaging the worm. So I'm pulling the wraps. Right. Once I get those wraps pulled through, I've cut my tail a little bit here, which I should not have done. There we go. And you can pull that wrap down to the surface. And now I'm going to take my needle back to my end point, take it to the back of the canvas, and there is your bullion knot. And you can work this a little bit to make sure that it's consistent. The nice thing about bullion knots, they don't have to be straight. I can actually curve this, and I can use my same thread, come up under the knot, and tack it into place, and being sure that I do not pull that thread so tight that it dimples the bullion knot. I want my tacking to thread to look like it's one of my wraps. So I'm going to make this one curly like a little green caterpillar. He's going to be wavy, moving across the canvas. And there's your bullion knot.